in my
Do you remember?
life.
Do you remember playing in Wisconsin?
I do remember playing in Madison, Wisconsin.
Didn't our cousin come?
I think our cousin Monica came because she was
No,
going.
I thought Stephanie.
Oh, was it Stephanie?
Yeah, because Monica was in.
Yeah, Stephanie. Stephanie was
She's
going
in-
to UW, I think.
Yeah.
And we were there. Yeah, I remember that.
Was that with John? Or Bobby?
I think it was with Bobby.
Bobby.
Because we did these little runs back in the day where we would go up to like Michigan. We used to go up to Saginaw, Michigan. Of all
Yeah,
places.
Saginaw.
We even played like
Oh,
Ann
the banana
Arbor.
convention.
We played in, we played in like, there was some bar in like near Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan that we played at. There's been a lot of weird, we played at some weird places in Saginaw. It was a small town, man. And it was
Saginaw, yeah.
kind of sad when we went up there. I remember like the couple places we played, I'm like, one was called White's Bar, which always made me feel a little like,
White's bar.
White's.
I think it was White's only bar.
I know. I think they moved that only out of there after
No.
a couple years ago.
We played with the band Frank's Bash, something.
Yeah.
Big Bang.
And
Frank's
they were
Big
touring
Bash.
through.
And the guy's floor tom was a
Yep.
bass drum.
We were
Cool.
like,
It's really cool.
we were weird back in the day because we were independently touring and
Just
like
trying to
just
find it.
finding any shows we could, but we weren't really in the genre of what we're doing now. Like I don't even know. We were like rock and roll mixed with reggae, mixed with like
Yeah.
jam band, mixed with like Theo,
Yeah.
take another solo kind
The
of thing.
focus was not.
It wasn't as focused.
tight.
And so a lot of those places we played were like with. I think back in the day we were like, oh well, here's a band that we can play with.
Anything.
So it doesn't matter what they're like. And then we would never see any of the people that followed them again. So it was like horrible for any kind of building of
Yeah, we didn't know.
momentum. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but
It was fun.
it was a lot of fun. I mean, I think Shar is
Shar.
back doing the Banana Convention. I think they just recorded another album.
Wow.
Shar and Monty and
I think it's
trying
cool.
to remember the other guys, but they were great. I
Yeah,
love those guys. They were
nice
so
people.
nice. They were very organized with their business too. Like maybe I don't know how they felt about it, but like they were very coordinated. They have the coordinated outfits.
Yeah.
They kind of ran a good ship back
It
then.
was art, those artists.
Yeah, it was very unique. I mean, it was almost like kind of B-52s meets
No doubt.
meets all these things.
Star
and Shar
Wars.
was a great singer.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, man,
Yeah, they were really nice
killer
people.
singer.
And
Very nice people. Yeah, I wish we could link up with them again.
what's happening?
20 years later. 20 years later. But yeah, anyways, what was I going to say? I had some questions. Embarrassing moments from the road? Or funny moments from the road? Is that what you're going to talk about? Remember when we played in, do you remember when we toured to Colorado? We were, Shaw Brothers, we were like, oh, well, we want to, I don't remember why. Oh, we were going out to Lions for the folk, what is it called?
Song School.
Song School, yeah. Our friend RJ Cowdery had recommended that we go out to this thing called Song School. And so we were like, well, we'll just tour our way out there.
Yeah, sure.
It's like a 20-hour drive. Well, it's like an 18-hour drive. But the route we went was like 25 hours.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we can play a show here, here, and here. So I think we played in...
I remember calling like 47 bars.
BJ helped us out. BJ Fleming
She
helped
did.
us out with a spot. I can't remember where that was. Ames? What the heck
Yeah,
was that?
yeah.
Ames, Iowa. So we played there, which was great in a coffee
We
shop.
played in
Played in Des Moines.
Des Moines.
And we busked at the fair and got kicked out.
Yeah.
Because he knew what we were up to. I know what
that
you're
what he
doing.
said?
Remember that guy?
I know what you're doing.
We went outside the
my
Iowa State
God.
Fair, just in the parking lot.
How dare you?
No, completely unoffensive, not doing anything. We just set up acoustically. We didn't have a PA or anything. It was just a violin and acoustic guitar. Put our little guitar case out and busked.
And I remember they were like, you need a permit. And so I think we literally went down and got one.
We did. Well, first.
Or did we do it before?
First, we were like, we're just playing music on the side of the thing.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, I know what you're
He
doing.
had a golf cart, didn't he?
Yeah, he's like, I know what you're doing. I'm like, oh, okay. We said we'd stop. I don't know, like.
Anybody with a golf cart's got a
Yeah,
little bit of
a little too much power.
Power trip.
It was funny. He was some old retired guy. Like, I was like, what? Okay, cool. If we're not allowed to play, we're
not
we
even.
left.
We're
We left. We
complying.
immediately said we're complying. We're like, I don't know why you're like still bothering us.
He's following us. At the
So
cart.
yeah, I know what you're gonna doing. Like, do you? I don't know if I do know what you're.
I don't know
What
what
did
we're
I
doing.
do? What are we doing at this point?
What are we doing?
So we went down to City Hall, got a permit, and then we bussed on the street.
Yeah, I do remember that.
We bussed on the street for a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was nobody around. It was kind of interesting. But that's when we first found that ray gun store.
Right.
We got
That
those
was
shirts.
cool.
That was cool. What else did we do? Okay, and then we went to Omaha. We played in what's the big town there? Sorry. Boise? Wait.
Nebraska? Omaha?
Omaha, Nebraska. Sorry.
Yeah,
Omaha's
yeah.
the city.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought it was the state.
Hey, I got that gig, and we got a hotel for free.
No, that was great.
I remember that.
No, that was on the way back, I think.
Okay.
The Omaha one was the one the Des Moines one was the one we played an actual gig in a venue in the basement venue.
Basement, yeah.
And there was literally nobody there.
God.
And then
Not
we
good
did the
at
busking
this.
thing. And then we stayed at a campground. We stayed at a KOA because I was like, we need a place to stay. We don't have anywhere to stay.
It's like $60.
And we didn't know it was the state fair that weekend. So there was no hotels available. So we stayed out like 40 minutes out.
Oh, yeah.
In like one of those like cabins at a KOA. So
We
it worked out
literally-
actually worked out great.
Worked out great, yeah.
And then we went to Omaha and we went to the High Life bar that had the shag carpet.
Oh, that place is cool.
And I think Lindsay went there. I'm pretty sure she went there when she went out to.
Oh, cool.
But that place was cool, and we played a
was
show
really
there.
cool.
And then after that show, we were like, screw it, we're just going to drive to Denver overnight. And that, because we were going to meet Ed McGee, we were staying with
yeah,
him
we
for a
stayed with
night
Ed. Yeah.
before Lions, and that was when we had that 11-hour trip where we kept falling asleep, so we kept switching back and forth. Most
that was from-
torturous drive of our life.
From Nebraska to
From
Colorado.
Omaha to Denver.
Crazy. You'd think it would be like 2 hours, but
Nah,
it's not at all.
It's the big Wild West out there.
I remember
man.
Kansas was just flat, just completely flat.
Yeah, it was a different world out there in the West.
Wow. It's fun. It was fun.
So that was fun. Yeah, I had
memories.
a good time, good memories, and then we did the song school, which was a lot of fun, and got to meet a lot of people that are awesome
know.
that we still know, songwriters that are in the folk and folk adjacent communities.
How many times did you go?
I think just the twice.
Twice, and I went once by myself.
Yeah.
So I
Was
went
it the same
2
when you
times.
went? Like same vibe, or
Oh, same, yeah.
had you felt like you had grown further at that
Oh,
point?
I had definitely
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
for it
yeah.
further. I think I had like 2 songs when we went the first time. But people were like, yeah, they're like, oh, you're so, it felt very like,
I was just curious. Yeah, I imagine
it was great. I mean, it's very,
I feel like we
you feel good. You feel a little good. You get a
yeah,
little boost.
you do, yeah.
Because people are,
Well,
a lot of it's local.
that community is like a rich
It's a nice community.
community of people, not rich, wealthy. It's a beautiful community of people that are like
Yeah.
really in to the folk music and writing songs, and
Yeah.
also I think being together.
Yeah.
That's like kind of a lot of those people's vacation.
And I think sometimes
which is awesome.
it becomes like hobbyists people. Though a lot of people
yeah,
aren't
not
hobbyists.
all those people are. No, certainly most of those people are not doing it. For
And I
a
only
living.
say that in to demean myself that like, well, I do it as a living, so like there's a little bit of a like, they're like, well, you're really good. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
We can cut
I
that
mean,
out, but
No, I mean, I think
I don't
the
want to
ra-
inflate myself, but
Well, I don't think. I mean, the reality is, and I was talking about this to somebody the other day. It's like the reality is, if you do music, I don't know. We do it every day of our life, but let's say we gig 100 to 200 days a year, which is
Yeah.
about where we are. You're just gonna be better at it.
right.
I'm not saying it's a competition; it isn't. But you're gonna have skills that are more refined and enhanced because of that fact.
Well, plus add our childhood.
At our well, yeah, and we don't really talk about that much, but we both like trained musically, and
Right.
with all the private lessons, the theory, the like all that shit, our whole life, and that isn't even what we do now.
Right. And
Like
musicals.
like somebody
and-
that was like all state everything at trumpet, orchestra, jazz, band, top level. There was never anybody that was better than me, and I mean,
I was
basically.
section leader.
But I'm saying
Of
like,
every group.
somebody like that.
But yeah.
Now as an adult, like I don't even do that.
Right.
It's. I'm not trying. That's not a brag or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that we're
You're
talking.
going to be decent at it.
Well, we were talking about the take me down Ohio. I mean, that leaves a big hole in yourself. I think about that every day.
Yeah.
I thought about that every day for at least 15 years after that. Like, there's something missing in myself.
Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever. I mean, because there's an emotional aspect to it. You spend all this time with your instrument, and you're like, you kind of feel like, what did I do that for? It's like
Right.
a guy making it to the NBA draft. He's going to get picked number 1, and he's like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
I mean, if you played trumpet, it'd be different, which you have
Yeah.
picked it up a little bit.
It's not like that big of a deal, but it does definitely impact you when you're doing music for a living.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all little building steps to where I am now. So
Oh no, but
I
you
don't
were
think of it like
incredibly
that.
talented when you were a kid, though. I think your gift was unfortunately, like being a violinist, for instance. Like that entire world is built around orchestra, which is built around a system that has been, I mean, and within that system, there are theories like the Suzuki method versus the, all these other things.
Orchestra generally.
My point is, like in orchestra, you got these different methods, like the Suzuki method, and there's a lot of different theories and stuff. But that whole, I mean, and I'll just say it because I was never, I played in orchestras as a trumpet player, but I was never really doing strings other than for a little bit. But there's a conformity in that is
of course.
does not lend itself as much to creativity. In other words,
No.
once you've learned, so here's the difference between violin and trumpet for me. Learning trumpet was already had a little bit more of a wider window of like expression. So you have band, which was like you're playing like, I don't know, think of John Philip Sousa and everything that comes out of that, music. And then you have, well, that's marching band actually, but band, there are like actual like, arranged like pieces of concert pieces. And then you have jazz band, which is like the, hey, cool cats.
Right.
And you're getting more expressive, you're improvising, you're doing those things. And then you have orchestra, which is more conformed. So you have the whole,
you have
the whole spectrum, but though between those things, there was places that you could express yourself. Certainly in jazz and things like that. But in like orchestra, how they don't have jazz orchestra.
Right, and actually someone just told me the other day.
They should.
Yeah, somebody told me the other day, oh, my son plays violin, but they wouldn't let him play in jazz band, so like he plays trumpet now. I'm like, see, our dad.
That's a problem.
Our dad came into the school and said, no, Chris can play in the jazz band, and then I did.
Good. Drums or violin?
I played violin.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He wrote a piece for the jazz band. I'm like, we're lucky. I don't even think about it.
We're very lucky.
I didn't think about it. But also we had a fiddle club, which was all bluegrass, Irish, Cajun, all of that.
Wow.
Like 20 different styles.
That was where you kind of had more
That's
of an
where
improv,
I was like, this is my thing.
That's the thing. Because you're already an artist, so you want to, like, you crave creating your own thing.
And that's where I excelled. Yeah. I didn't excel in any of it. And I talk about it all the time because God bless all the teachers I had, very good people, but like...
Good people.
But none of them made sense because of the system that they were built into. None of them made sense with what we did.
Nope.
Well, probably you had a couple.
I honestly struggle with...
I struggle with all of them except Carolyn.
I struggle with a lot of my teachers. I like Ben Huntoon a lot because we were just like, we were doing more improv and stuff, which I needed to be around that a little bit more. But
the fact is we were, and not...
we were very self-taught. We were very self-motivated.
But also, there's a level you reach where you're actually better than the teachers.
Yeah, that happened.
Because they're not doing what we're doing.
We just came from our dad, who was never about competition. It was about inclusivity and about getting people to be able to express themselves. And that's what we wanted. And anytime we went up against a teacher that we felt like, okay, they are not... First of all, if you're not motivating me to be excited about playing trumpet... Why am I here?
Why am I doing it?
That's the whole point.
And the
of doing
hard
music.
part, and the thing I will give all the teachers is they're dealing with the system.
They're dealing with the system.
They have 40 kids in front of them that they have to teach.
Right, and we can't see that as kids.
It totally makes sense.
We couldn't see that as kids. We could just see the way it made us feel then.
It makes
and
total
now
sense.
we can look back and be like, okay, yeah, I get it. They're trying to make their own ends meet like we are now.
Right.
Totally.
To get it,
and I'm thankful for all my teachers, man.
Me too. And to get
they all had different perspectives and different experiences, so that was good.
Right.
Like there's still stuff today like I do because of teachers like the Clark studies and like if I play trumpet,
Well, one of the Shellhammer things was what's popular is not always right. What's right is not always popular.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
That's a great philosophy.
That's an amazing philosophy.
It's also the like those who matter don't mind and those who mind don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Dr. Seuss there for you. That's
But our dad's a music teacher, so very much in a what is it, square peg in a round hole.
Well, yeah, but I think the point was he was like feverishly trying to like get rid of any barriers between a person creating, not just us. It wasn't just our privilege to have that, right? Like it was our privilege, but I meet kids all the time that tell me that they're like, "Man, I had your dad, and I'm telling you." It made me love music. Mm-hmm. I'm like, great. If that's all that he did, that's a lot.
It's an educational reform thing I try to instill in the way I teach, because I teach lessons and I taught at CCAD last week. And a lot of times I'm teaching third graders, and you have to be able to facilitate and you have to be able to listen to them. I mean, I had multiple occasions where kids taught me something because I was willing to listen to them. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. At one time, I was like, what do you guys want to do right now? And they were like, well, let's do a project that's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's great. And we did it.
Yep.
I mean, luckily it was an art school, but it's a cool way to teach. I think the problem is people think teaching is, I'm smart, you're dumb, I teach you the knowledge. That's not what teaching is.
No. Well, yeah, there's much more to teaching. You have to motivate, and you have to understand your students.
Inspire.
You have to inspire.
Empower.
You have to empower. Yep. There's a lot of things. I agree. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, you're right. I mean, the thing is, these teachers that we had when we were kids, like, they were just doing their best, and like, I still think about it because at the time there were definitely times where I'm like, this, and I don't want to be around this, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then in retrospectively, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. They weren't always great at teaching a kid in the way they need to learn.
Yeah.
But they were trying to teach something that they had experienced that they know they need to pass on to me.
Right.
And those aren't always like going to meet up.
And music is like a list of like technique and
it is. It's very
there's a list.
What's the word? Angular, or maybe not that, but it's very engineering. It's like, here's this thing you need. Here's this thing. After we put all these things together, you have the machine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to work.
Trumpet is a machine.
It is.
You have to do.
It is.
You have to, just to get sound. You have to do a lot of technique.
Well, I think like the stupid stuff I hated when I was a kid, like the breathing apparatus I used to have. I remember that. There was like this.
Killing it now.
There was like this. Yeah, there was like this breathing thing that my trumpet teacher gave me that was for like people that had emphysema or whatever, to try to get their lung capacities up.
And now
at the time, I was like, this is so stupid. But now I'm like, oh yeah, that taught me how to breathe from my diaphragm.
And now you're like, yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
for singing,
it works great. It's like, oh, I know how to breathe properly.
Yep.
And I run the open mic at Lido's, and there's times where I'm like, okay, I wish I could teach this person some like techniques that I've learned.
Yeah.
But I could never teach vocals because I really don't know what I'm doing. But
yeah,
I could teach you how to sing through the vision of a trumpet player.
Yeah.
Does that apply in any way? But anyways. Yeah, well, let's move on from that subject because I don't want to criticize any of my old teachers. I really am not trying to.
Didn't you?
Well, actually, hold on. We both have a float story. So who wants to go first?
Oh, I have a float story. Okay.
This is like a parade float in the Gehenna. It was at the Gehenna parade.
You played at the Gehenna parade, and, there's a winter holiday. Person. There's a winter holiday parade, and I think you got hired to play music.
I sure did. I don't know why. Thank you, Zach. It was very nice of you. I don't know any holiday songs, just so you know. Because the point is that I don't want to do them.
Yeah.
So if I don't learn them, I don't have to do them.
That's
because I can't. I literally can't.
But when the call
came, I did learn like 4.
You answered it.
But let me tell you this: to my credit, they put me on this float in the Gehenna parade, the holiday parade, and I played my one little song. And then I was like, well, this is a long parade. I got to play something else. But the point is, it's a parade. You can keep playing the same song over and over because there's every 30 seconds you got a new crowd. It was so cold, I couldn't feel my fingers. So I was up against that, trying to sing on a... The bad part was I didn't know there was going to be... I didn't know it was going to be on a float with like 20 people.
Oh, yeah.
So then I had to like make up some stuff. I was like, oh no, Santa's going on the trip today. And these people, I'm sure, were like, what is this?
What are these songs?
I don't know.
This is a German song. You don't know about it.
The old German one.
I translated it.
How dare you? This is my heritage.
Yeah, this is my culture.
I'm an original Christmas Santa song singer.
Santa
you didn't know that?
Goes on the spaceship.
I'm specifically a songwriter of Santa songs. You didn't know that?
That's funny.
That was horrible.
Oh, the funny part is that you don't know any like songs that everyone knows, like Jingle Bells.
It's not that I don't know how to sing them. It's just that I don't know how to play them.
You don't know the words either.
I don't know the words.
They're just, I don't even know them.
Bells, sing it, sing it.
Yeah.
You're in the front row, sing it.
It's like, everybody's different. They learn music differently or hear it differently, but you don't hear it in the words.
No, I don't. It's not even that. I've erased,
I've
cleansed my brain from knowing those songs because
Trauma.
I have an obsessive compulsive brain. So if I hear it, it will never leave my head. I don't want that. So.
Okay, so my float story Hey, I was like...
The Gahanna parades, man. They're keeping us alive back in the day.
I don't know. This was an Upper Arlington parade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, excusez-moi. I remember I
yeah.
marched in that one year. I don't know why.
So our dad used to play these big band gigs with this
Yeah.
guy. What was his name? Larry Miller?
Are you talking about Larry Schaefer?
Larry Schaefer.
Because I used to gig with him, too, when I was in high school.
Yes, and I did a couple.
He's passed.
He's
Sad,
passed, yeah.
We love that guy.
Shout
out to Larry Schaefer.
I think I played a couple drum gigs, maybe. I mean, I don't know how to play swing, but...
Yeah, you do.
It's hard. But, yeah. But as a high school...
Sound...
Right. As a high school kid...
I can hear
I think our dad was trying to, get us into these gigs and stuff. So we were like, he was like, oh, Larry Schaefer's got this parade gig.
What's the Larry Schaefer connection? I can't believe we both did the Larry Schaefer stuff.
Yeah. So I got on this float, blah, blah, blah. And, you're driving into it and there's like blockades and stuff. And then, I don't know, I must have driven myself. I brought my drum set with no cymbals in a swing gig, which is all cymbals. Think of like, the only thing you need on a swing gig is a cymbal. You don't need any other drums. Maybe a bass drum.
Oh, God.
Boom, boom, boom.
Nobody's going to hear the bass drum from the audience.
It's all cymbals. So I played every song on the top. Which isn't that crazy.
Light bow.
No, sing, sing, sing. That's a swing song.
Sing, sing, sing.
Every song was just that.
I bet they were like, looking at you the whole time like, ah.
Yeah, so I forgot my cymbals, and there was like no way to get them. I probably called my dad, but there's no cell phones.
Yeah.
I probably was just like, I'm screwed.
There was no cell phones.
No cell phones.
But there was also no recording devices on your phone.
Heck yeah, there wasn't.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
So yeah, that was my float story.
That's funny.
Yeah, really.
That's funny. It still makes me laugh. I wish I could have been there.
Every song was sing, sing, sing.
It's so great.
Which doesn't work in every song. Like, take the A train.
It's like the rim or something. The rim or something. I don't know.
It's bad.
Well, you didn't have a hi-hat either. That's the worst part.
I know. No cymbals.
Without a hi-hat.
What am I
doing?
doing?
You have a hi-hat, you're good.
Yeah, you get the 2 and 4, and you can... Nope,
yeah.
You got nothing. Just a rim.
Wow.
Is that a tap dancer? Click.
You need to get a drum set that everything's like automatically attached, so you can't...
I know.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's funny. I wanted to end this podcast
with a prayer.
Whether this is part 1 or part 2 of the podcast we're going to release. But I thought we should talk about, because I think this is something that we don't talk enough about, other local artists that inspire us. Or, it doesn't even have to be inspire in the, the sense of like musically or anything.
Other local or other
local artists that we find like inspiring.
Okay, well, I will segue easily because we are going to be playing a concert in my area, Bexley, a community concert.
It can't be yourself.
No. It's me. And speaking back to song school, I met a woman named Anna. She goes by AC Sapphire.
Yep.
And she texted me like probably 5 years after I met her, which I love the music world because it's like, who cares? Cool, great. We're connected, Yeah. And she said, can you help me out? I'm coming through. So coming through Columbus.
Great.
So I was like, great. Yeah, let's do it. So we've set up this concert. I'm going to have a couple of my students play because I don't like doing recitals that are traditional. And it's the Bexley community. And so Shaw Brothers is going to play and this woman, AC Sapphire. And I literally had not heard her music. I mean, everybody at song school is usually good. So I checked it out and I'm helping her out. So I was like, cool, I accept your music, however it is. And I checked it out on YouTube and I was like, man, she is killing it.
Awesome.
So very kind of Nico Case vibes. Very kind of quirky, folky, psychedelic, Americana, folk rock. So really, really good stuff.
Awesome.
I'm into it. So gladly. I'm glad I didn't like it. But she's a very nice person, and we're going to help her out. And we love doing stuff like that. So that'll be July 28th. Hopefully this will come out before that.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to get this out before then. So for me, let's see. There's a lot of great local artists, and so I'm not going to talk about all of them. But one that I think we can both agree on is Eric Nesda, who is just kind of shouting him out because he created and runs the Songs at the Center program that is airs on local WOSU and then also nationally on a lot of the PBS. It's syndicated, right?
Yep.
Which we performed on many years ago, which is exciting. I think we may have mentioned this in previous podcasts, but to go a little deeper, like he's gotten like John Oates on there. He's gotten like some big name acts on there.
Walking to Memphis, Mark Cohn.
Yeah, Mark Cohn. Yeah,
Cohen.
Cohen. Yeah, I don't know
That guy.
That guy.
Great.
A lot of great artists. So, anyways, we're privileged to, be on that show, which was great. And Eric works hard. He's an artist himself, and he spends a lot of time like dedicating his
life. Yeah.
a lot of his time dedicating his time. You know what I'm saying? He dedicates a lot of his time to showcasing other artists with his program. That there's a lot of production cost and things like that. So just big shout out to Eric because he's been a staple of the Columbus community. And I don't think he gets enough recognition for that at all.
Completely thankless job.
Yeah, completely thankless.
Which you would think it wouldn't be.
And it shouldn't be. Talisha was on, and B-Jazz was on, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah.
So the 10th anniversary show.
Who'd they get on the 10th anniversary show?
I know Talisha
Holmes,
and I don't actually know who the people are. But we know Talisha. So.
Yeah. Talisha's incredible artist here in Columbus. She also, her and B-Jazz both deserve a big shout out as well because, man, amazing.
Yeah, it's just
amazing musicians.
It's a thankless job, and anytime you want to serve other musicians, it's going to be very hard, and it's going to be, you have to write it in that it's just going to be like, this is for them, I'm serving them, because we've done it before in many capacities, and it's just the nature of the game. If you're trying to help other artists, they're in their own world all the time, so it's like you just have to be like, this is for you.
Well, what are some ways people can support artists locally, right? I think there's a few ways that I can mention, and I'd love to hear what you think. I think we need more people at shows, whether they be ticketed shows, public shows where you can just show up. If we're playing at Brewdog or Chris is playing at the North Market, or I don't know. We don't know if you play
the Dublin Farmers Market.
Any of that. Like, show up, support, say hi, throw a tip in if you want. But more generally, like, just come and watch and appreciate. Try to make that an active part, a part of your life if you can. Some other ways, contributing to people's Patreon, buying people's records,
merch,
literally telling the establishments that you already are regulars at, if it's a restaurant or a bar or a coffee shop or a green space that looks like it would be good for music, tell them, hey, you should book music, local music here. I know people that would love to play here. Because I think one of the biggest things that I'm really into is like creating the opportunity and creating new spaces to play rather than kind of saying, well, this is where you play. This is where you go. We've done that. It doesn't really, it's fine. But I'm thinking right now there's a need for more places for art to exist. And we're evolving in the way in which I just think people are more, they're ready for it. They want more creativity, more art. I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's true or not. But.
Well, Bexley, where I'm living, they had a Bexley Porch Fest, which
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's kind of a movement thing. I have mixed feelings because there's a movement of Porch Fests, which is like a town will have like people just playing their porch, and that's the thing.
It's like an expanded block party almost.
Right. So Bexley, the mixed feelings is that they've kind of taken the brand of Porch Fest and used it as something else, but so there's a local guy in town that does this Bexley Brew Fest, and now he's doing the Bexley Porch Fest.
Yeah.
So basically, they've taken the brand of Porch Fest and made it their own thing, which what it is they have beer vendors on the street, people play on people's porches, and then the beer money goes to Alzheimer's research, which is actually really cool.
But the bands don't get paid.
So the bands don't technically get a guarantee, but this year, what they did was they have QR codes everywhere and people can tip the band, and then they pool those tips for everyone and divide them evenly, I guess. it's actually, they didn't really tell us how they did it, but that's what I heard. And so it ended up being pretty good this year. And so I think that's kind of cool, the creative way. And then they can tip you by yourself. You know, you can have your own QR codes. And also the hosts that hosts you on their porch will also, they're like heavily encouraged to tip, to pay you. So it ends up being, they pay you pretty decent, especially for like an hour.
That's cool.
It's cool. It ended up being really cool.
There's
cool.
creative
ways to do it.
There's creative ways to do it. That is one of them.
I thought it was cool.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
And people just, and it was so, like, you know, the streets are shut down. It's very simple. And it's community.
Well, that's what Mark Subel's been doing for years. He's been putting that Jazz Coalition thing on, right? Like those kind of concerts where they pay the artists to come in and stuff.
Yeah, I think we just need to figure out like what we value and like where those dollars go and just like how to find that money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this nonprofit. Like, my value of my mission is to pay artists, and that has to be in your value mission, in your statement.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
I think you find the money.
Well,
you just find it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because it's like, I understand that like entertainment is not like always like something that's built into somebody that has like a fixed incomes like expense sheet, right? I get that.
Yeah.
So like, I mean like not to get too deep into that, but like the reality is like, it's challenging for artists, musicians to find ways to monetize their value without feeling like they are taking advantage of people at some point in some level.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of touring acts that just, we set a ticket price. This is what it is. Like, it's not up for discussion, you know, come to my show and I put all the onus on myself as the artist and my team to get people into that venue and pay that ticket price.
Well,
right?
and you see a double-sided thing where people will complain, look how high these ticket prices are. But then they'll also like be like, oh, you need to pay artists. So it's like,
well,
it's a really funny dichotomy.
Well, that's because there's, okay.
When we get Spotify and everything's free.
So in my opinion, that's because there are a lot of people that want a piece of the pie. And there are a lot of people that deserve a piece of the pie, but there's a lot of people that don't need to be in there. Yeah. And that's the big philosophical debate with that ticketing system is that, well, do you know how big of an infrastructure we need to be able to run a ticketing site so that all those fees go, you know?
Yeah.
And then people have been fighting back against that for years. I don't have an answer for that because I'm not on that level of an artist, and I don't, you know, like we've said in the past, most of the people that were coming to our shows, we know or know adjacently or are in our community, and, you know, so I can literally sell them a ticket individually half the time.
Right. But we run into the fee thing.
We run into the fee thing sometimes too, and we have. And I'm not a big fan of the fees. I don't know. My thing is I don't want anything to be between me and an audience member. I want them to be not, you know, hey, it's $25. Cool, here's $25. Not $25 plus $15 in fees, because you're just like upsetting that person, even though it's not me doing that.
Right.
Like, you know, so that's a challenge. But I think doing events like so I had actually, this is 15 years ago, I had an idea for a neighborhood concert like that. Yeah. Because I knew enough people in my neighborhood where I lived, where I was like, why don't we all set up bands in the front porch and we have people go to each house. Actually, it was house concerts at the time.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do this. I'm still down to do it, where you like have a tour of the neighborhood through different people's homes, and each place they curate like a hors d'oeuvre menu.
Yeah.
And a wine tasting or a beer tasting or whatever. It's still something I would love to do. I think it would be a great, just like intentional thing.
And doable.
Not hard. This neighborhood I live in right now, I know both neighbors on both sides. And then there are 3 other people that live within a block of me that I know. All artist, musician, 3 artists. Well, 1 artist, friend, 2 musicians. So, we could all just open our homes and do that, and it would be great. And each house could be like whoever we want to have performing.
You do like 5 o'clock to 10 or 11 or
5 to 10, little 30-minute performances by artists in each house. You know, you spend 45 minutes in the house. I think it's great. I still want to do that. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on in Columbus. I wanted to say one more important thing. If you do like music and you feel like anything we said about getting out and supporting is something that appeals to you, In Columbus, Ohio, there's a website called cringe.com. CRINGE.com. It's run by a guy named Joel Treadway, who we love and we've known for a long time. Now, he arduously puts together show calendars for every single day. All the website is literally just the calendar of the day. Mm-hmm. Here's where art is happening today, music, and that's it. And it's great because there's no way to find show listings that is as concise as that.
Yeah.
It used to be the Columbus Live, which doesn't exist anymore. And
right.
So, and before that, other things, which I won't even mention. But,
yeah.
Go support Cringe. Check out their website. Go find a show.
I think the biggest thing you could do is go to an artist and put money in their hands.
Yeah.
It's very simple. You can tip them $20. You can patron them. You can Venmo them. That's what I do. It's like that's the only way I can really support and know that support is working is that they're going to need their wages higher.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
The simplest way.
Yeah, it is. It is. Very simple way. So we encourage you to do that. And that's all we have time for today. But make sure to like and subscribe. All the links will be at the end of this video. And find us on the streaming services as well. Spotify, Apple Music, however you listen, Amazon. We're on all of it. We are on Pandora too. I just found that out. I wasn't sure. I haven't thought about Pandora for a minute. So, but people,
a lot of people. Are we on Deezer?
I think so. What's Deezer?
I don't know.
I think we might be. I don't know. I keep finding us all kind of places.
We're on one of those.
Find our CDs all in all the thrift stores. So I assume we're out there.
We're out there.
You can get us very cheaply. All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.